Hello and good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
And welcome to this week's Connect. I have to say, this is one that I am particularly looking forward to, as today we're going to be connecting with Christine West, who some of you may remember used to share with us at Castleford Core and has reconnected with us through Digital Church. And so we're very much looking forward to reconnecting with her and seeing what she has to share with us. Christine, are you there?
I am. I'm here. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Christine,
It's a pleasure to be asked.
it's really good to have you share with us this time. I think a great place for us to start would be if you could just share a little bit about what your day-to-day life looks like at the minute in the NHS, and also how that experience has changed more recently.
My day-to-day life. Well, I am a nurse. That's my original qualification. But I actually work as a sister for an endoscopy unit for a North Lincolnshire and Gould NHS Trust. And I'm based at the Sunbelt site, and we have a purpose-built unit that opened in 2017, so it's beautiful. Before COVID, we were running 3 theatres. We had 80 patients, or up to 80 patients. On, I'm going to say colonoscopy, gastroscopy, cystoscopy and bronchoscopy. In old money, that's into your bowels, into your bladder, into your lungs. We have a camera that looks everywhere that you can't see. When COVID hit us, we just stopped. All staff were redeployed. I had staff that went to intensive care units. They went to the COVID ward, so they're working predominantly there. In fact, I don't think there was anywhere that my team didn't work that's supported.
Wow.
Right.
Gradually, we've been very, very lucky in our area. We're really lucky in Lincolnshire for the low rates, but we still have had our unfortunate victims to this disease, and we're on a bit of an increase at the moment. But as we reduced our numbers, and the wards didn't need us anymore, we regrouped. We have now gradually brought our list back up to 80 to 90%, which is better than a lot of the bigger trusts.
Yeah.
Problems we're having now with COVID swabbing, we have to get every single patient swabbed before they can come through the door. We deal with aerosol generated procedures, so that's if you cough or speak or any of those things, that's what comes out of your mouth. So we're putting scopes into your stomach, so we have to make sure that you are clear before we touch you. So it's quite intense for us. As a team, we have a lot of anxiety. I have a fabulous team, and I have a fabulous manager above me, and we work so closely together, and we banter all day long. We also deal with what we call upper GI bleeds. If you have a bleed in your stomach or your throat, we're there. And we work so closely together, we know each for moves. So it's changed in the fact that we were pulled apart, we came back together, and we're closer. We're closer than we've ever been, and I kind of love that aspect, really.
Yeah. Amazing. It's such amazing and life-changing work that you're doing, and I know I personally remember you as somebody very warm and compassionate, and so I know that particularly in this time how important it is to have somebody like you doing that kind of work, and that leads us on to the next question, really. I know many people watching will fondly remember you and your family, and the girls especially as well. If you are watching, please feel free to just pop in the comments a little message to Christine or to her family that might be watching. And would you be able to tell us then, in the years gone by, tell us about how you've kind of reconnected with us through Digital Church, and more importantly, how have you connected spiritually and with God through lockdown?
Well, when COVID hit, shall I say, there was a lot of fear. I think that's the initial thought process, I'm going to say, right at the beginning before I start anything. And Ruth and Rosanna, which is who everybody will remember, they get called Rue and Zan these days, change our names. When we attended Castleford, we were embraced by everybody there. I particularly remember when I was reflecting on this on one of our first visits, that Hannah Wainwright now, I think her name is, Hannah Roebuck, and Kim Freeman just turned around and was so friendly and so warm to the girls. It was lovely, and they just took them off. And that's my first memory of walking into Castleford.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, different things happened in life, and I had to, shall I say, just go find Christine. Christine had got lost somewhere, and Christine needed to disconnect and find a place. And so I've wandered around a little bit over the last few years since I've not been there, just finding myself, and I lost my way a little bit with God, and I kept trying to reconnect. I remember a time where I came to Castleford, and I'd driven all the way. I live in Baston upon Humber now, so it's not on the doorstep.
Yeah.
And I drove all the way over to Castleford, and it must have been a summer because there wasn't many people there, and I can remember it was warm. And I sat down, and I could see Simon at his little desk doing his thing. And I remember looking at him, and he just smiled at me really sweetly, acknowledged me. And I suddenly felt, I don't know, I felt like the walls were coming in and I had to go away. So I knew that I wasn't ready, but that's the challenge within me. That was me and my whatever was going on inside. So a lot of things have happened. So COVID brought me to a time where I was having a spiritual awakening anyway. And I just had my phone in my hand, and I was like, oh, I'll just have a look on Castleford's little Facebook site. And there it was. The church came on. And I think it was one of the kids' church pieces I was watching. And I absolutely loved it. I was totally involved in it. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I love this. I had to have my phone out at work, because we always had to have a team in the unit just in case we had an emergency. So we'd have a small little team there. And I was like, it's Sunday, let's watch this. And we were watching it and embraced it. The superhero one was fantastic. Yeah. We all loved that. So we've all been superheroes and shining lights and all sorts of things at work. And I think it was just that every time I switched on, it was something spoke to me. Something said there was a message, and I took it with me every week to work, to the point where people were saying, I'm different, I've changed. And that connection and being connected to people and seeing faces on you and seeing all the kids that have grown. If you look at the videos of kids that right from the beginning to now, they've grown, haven't they? Some are walking that weren't walking, and talking that weren't talking, and listening to other people's stories. So important, listening to other people's testimonies and their life path, and then you realise that actually your life path wasn't so tragic after all. That actually it's just life. It's just life. And what I have learned is that God never left me. It was me that wandered off. He was there tapping all the time. So I pray, which I was doing. And every morning I had a little coin on my dressing table saying, God grant me the serenity, to deal with everything, and have the wisdom to know what not to deal with, what to deal with. And it's on my dressing table. I read it out to myself every day. And I can say that God's here now. I can feel him. He's enlightened himself back into my life. Thank you. And thank you, Castleford.
It's so amazing to hear, and it's amazing to reconnect with you as well. But it's especially amazing to hear about the spiritual awakening that you've had. I know that lots of people have had that experience through lockdown, have been searching, have been looking to God really for guidance, and like you said, the fear and the comfort have been a massive part of that. So thank you for sharing so honestly. I know that lots of people are going to be really blessed by you sharing that story with us.
And there's such power and truth in just the connection of people, just being able to have conversations about being open, about presenting needs, knowing that other people who are listening are going to be praying over for all the things that you're talking about. So thank you so much for sharing that, Christine.
And it's so important to share. And I think that is something else that has happened in this period of time, that people are sharing more of themselves, certainly in my environment anyway. People are sharing more. And strangely enough, because of distance,
Yeah.
Because of not being with each other, actually sharing, making more effort to share and reconnect.
Yeah.
How odd is that we have to be isolated to reconnect?
I know.
Maybe we needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder then if you could share with us a meaningful piece of music or scripture that's been floating around your mind over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I had two really in mind, and I was going to, and I know that I mentioned this previously to Emily about We Are the Reason, written by Callum Scott, because I'm in a choir called All for One Choir, and it has become a bit of our theme song. But actually what's happened in the process, that this other overwhelming story came to mind, where Nick and I travelled to India quite a lot, and we love it over there. We find ourselves at part of my spiritual journey. And a song that was played because one of our waiters was particularly, he's Christian, he's Catholic, and he played a lot of spiritual music. And I was sat having my breakfast, having my eggs and toast one morning, looking across the coconut grove, as you do, trying to just soak up the moment. And this music was being played, and I thought, oh, here we go. I'm getting challenged. Yeah, that's at Nick, and the same word is very perceptive in knowing that Chris is having a moment. And you know, you are the air you are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Yeah, it was that piece of music. And I suddenly found myself singing the words very quietly. It's just a piece of bread in my hand with egg yolk running down it, but I was singing the words with tears running down my face as I was listening to those words saying, I'm desperate for you. I'm missing you. And I knew that that's when God was saying to me, you've had your time now. Come back. I'm missing you. So that piece of music is just, that's for me. You are the air I breathe. I'm missing you. I'm desperate for you. Come back.
Yeah. The power in those words that talks about his very presence living in us, and the fact that we're lost without him, and the fact that you can testify to having a time in the wilderness and being able to look back now knowing that without him we all are lost, and actually being able to come back to that is such an amazing story. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think that people can see it. And back to what Rebecca was saying about shining your light. Well, I feel my light well and truly switched on. And don't forget, the dark can't comprehend the dark, the light can it? So I'm shining and I'm ready. Whatever is ready for me, I'm ready.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. That's it. Yeah, it's really moved me actually to hear that story and to have those words spoken to us to remind us as well that Christ is the air that we breathe. We want to offer prayer for you, and I know that the people watching will be gladly ready to pray for you in whatever circumstance. Obviously, of course, we know that work in particular at the moment is a place of anxiety, but is there anything else that we can offer prayer as a praying church family for you?
I think that one thing I would ask for is strength, and I know that seems really strange because people think I'm a strong person, but that's the front. I'm actually quite a shaky person inside. So I'd ask for strength for everything that I do face. That's with my work. But in general, it's just to try and uplift me. And I know that's a selfish thing, but I've learned that sometimes you have to be selfish. And I just want to be, I'm there now. I don't want to drop back down. And I want to keep moving forward with my faith and find out what it is that God wants me to do, because I feel that there's a plan, but I don't know what it is yet. I'm waiting. I just want to be lifted and feel the love of my friends at Castleford, who were always there for me, to be fair, always.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. If you're watching, please pray for Christine and her family. Pray that the Lord sustains her in her work and that she continues to feel the outpouring of the Spirit on her life. It's been amazing, Christine, to meet with you. Thank you so much for giving up your time to meet with us. And we will definitely be continuing to pray for you and keeping in touch with you as well as we move forward. So thank you so much and take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.